Welcome to the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast, where we delve into the heart of Canada's economic engine, small and medium-sized enterprises. I'm your host, SK. Today, we are excited to discuss the evolution of payroll systems, strategic marketing on a budget, and the unique challenges and triumphs of working moms. We are thrilled to welcome Jayme Derkson, Marketing Director at XTM Inc. With over 17 years of experience in brand building and marketing leadership, Jayme has played a pivotal role in the success of several early-stage companies, including the renowned beverage brand Flow Water. At XTM Inc., Jayme focuses on transforming payroll systems with innovative solutions like AnyDay Earned Wage Access, providing workers with pay flexibility and instant tip distribution. Her expertise extends across various industries, from hospitality to fintech, making her a leading voice in marketing strategies for startups and scale-ups. Join us as we dive into Jayme's journey, insights, and the transformative work she is doing at XTM Inc. Good afternoon, Jayme. Welcome to the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast. How are you today?
Good. Thank you, SK. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much for accepting our invite and coming to our studio today. We are absolutely thrilled to really, to have you join us. To start things off, could you share with our audience a bit about yourself and the incredible work you do?
Yes. So I'm Jayme. I'm the marketing director at XTM, which is a fintech based in Toronto. And we specialize in what's called earned wage access, which is working with employers to give an optimal user experience for their employees. It's a financial wellness benefit that gives them access to their earnings before paydays. So we're transforming the traditional pay cycle and helping employees get better with their financial well-being.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. We are eager to hear from your perspective on transforming payroll system and, marketing on a tight budget and also balancing the professional and personal life as a working mom. Let's start by discussing about the payroll transformation. The payroll system is an integral part of any business, directly affecting employee satisfaction and retention. Jayme, could you elaborate on how AnyDay Earned Wage Access is transforming payroll systems and what makes it a retention first enhancement for any HR systems?
Absolutely. So I think we all can agree, inflation, cost of living crisis, these are real challenges that Canadian workers are experiencing, as well as coupled with a labor shortage that's industry agnostic.
That's a very big challenge, right?
Yeah. Whether you're in retail, manufacturing, healthcare, labor, talent, skilled labor, it's extremely challenging. And so what our offering does is not only do we help the employees by giving them flexible access to pay, we're helping the employer by giving them a retention. It's great for retention to have an employee benefit that really solves that challenge of, giving employees their money when they need it in case of emergencies. There's a crazy stat where there's 70% of Canadian workers don't have $200 in their bank account to help with an emergency expense.
70%.
Yeah, I
alarming, right?
have to get back to you on that specific stat, but it's definitely over 60% of Canadian workers don't have $200 in their bank account to cover emergency expenses. And so this is what we do. The traditional pay cycle, most Canadians get paid bi-weekly. And, in this day and age, that's not fast enough. Coupled with, this generation of millennial and Gen Z workers, the newly skilled worker is used to on-demand everything. So to really meet the employee with, the best possible experience for an employer to recruit and retain talent, it only makes their benefits package, compensation package effective when you're offering something like same day or next day pay.
Yeah, that's interesting. And what challenges do you face when introducing these innovative payroll solutions that you have discussed just now, and how did you overcome them?
So earned wage access is quite popular in the US. It was pioneered by Uber and Walmart and, big names. It's actually legally mandated in parts of Europe. So in the US and Europe, they got the earned wage access. They are utilizing it. There's millions of employees utilizing over billions of dollars in earned wage access. In Canada, it's a very different story. It's very new. Payroll is highly regulated. And so this is the challenge, is getting Canadian employers comfortable with earned wage access. And one of the ways that AnyDay overcomes that is by partnering with highest caliber payroll and human capital systems, such as SAP. SAP is a huge, worldwide renowned payroll provider, among other things that they do within the HR technology. And so we are one of the only certified SAP providers of earned wage access. So having that credibility, that partnership goes a long way in educating Canadian employers and making them feel comfortable with this somewhat new financial technology solution.
Okay. Jayme, can you define earned wage access in simple terms for our listeners?
Absolutely. So earned wage access leverages payroll and time and attendance systems to give employees a portion of their earnings before payday. So let's say, I'm Jayme and my payday is next Friday. But today I get a flat tire and I don't have $200 to fix that tire. I don't want to resort to my high interest credit card. I don't want to go into overdraft with my bank. Those are hefty fees, high interest, real money that I'm already struggling. So I know that I worked a few shifts this past weekend. Let's say I work in hospitality or healthcare. I can go into my app, my AnyDay app, and access 50% of the earnings of those shifts that I worked just 2 days prior and have access to that $200 to fix that flat tire. So to satisfy that emergency right away, flexible pay. And then on payday, it's reconciled and deducted as, so I'm receiving my payday net the amount that I accessed early for that emergency expense.
Yeah, I think this will be very good for employees, right?
Absolutely. In this day and age, making ends meet is very difficult, and not just for lower income. This is middle class as well. So it's really just a nice benefit to have the flexibility. It's their hard-earned money. They should be able to access it after they've worked.
Right. To our valued listeners, today's insights from Jayme Derkson underscores the transformative potential of innovative payroll solutions like AnyDay Earned Wage Access. It's a vivid reminder that at the heart of every technological advancement lies the opportunity to significantly enhance the lives of employees and operational efficiency of businesses. As we reflect on this conversation, let's consider how we can leverage such innovations within our enterprises. The future of work isn't just about where we work, but also how we can make work more rewarding and flexible for everyone involved. Embracing change and innovation in payroll could be your next step toward building a more engaged, satisfied, and productive team. Let's discuss about the marketing strategies on a startup and scale up projects. Everyone knows, effective marketing is crucial for the growth of any business, whether it's a new or startup or those who are thinking of scaling. Particularly, startups and scale offers on tight budgets. Could you share some successful marketing strategies you have implemented on a startup or scale up budget?
Absolutely. So actually, AnyDay was first built and designed from the hospitality industry. We've grown. Part of our solution is giving restaurant employers the ability to pay out their employees tips and gratuities instantly, which also does that added benefit of removing cash from the restaurant ecosystem. Because if you think about it, before the pandemic, most restaurant operators, cash was a little more available. But in the pandemic, everyone went towards credit and debit card transactions, which means there was no cash on hand to pay the employees their tips. So what restaurant operators had to do is they had to go to the banks and get thousands of dollars. If they were a nice steakhouse, they would get $10,000 for one night to pay out those tips. So our solution, through digital payments, we're able to eliminate those bank runs and the riskiness of having all that cash on hand and the time spent distributing that cash to all their employees. It's all just digital now. So as part of our strategy, we partner with associations. Restaurants Canada is one such association that's very well known and credible and supports the restaurant industry in Canada. So what we did is we identified, some of the challenges that operators face operational efficiency. Of course, we talked about employee retention, but also compliance. Compliance is a very important general when you're a B2B startup, scale up. Compliance in any aspect, whether it's, employment law compliance or taxation compliance, these are parts of the business that our target audience really cares about, but doesn't really have time to dive deep and doesn't have the money to hire, taxation lawyers, employment lawyers. So what we did as a marketing strategy is create really value-add, expert-driven content. We work with taxation lawyers, employment lawyers, as well as
all under one roof, you mean?
Exactly. We collaborated along with the Restaurant Canada Association to develop value content. We did this in 2022, where we partnered with a taxation lawyer and Restaurants Canada to develop a tips, taxation, and operational efficiency webinar. And we really identified, how restaurants can be compliant with Canada Revenue Agency, employment standards. And so not only did we acquire, I think that webinar was the most attended webinar for Restaurants Canada. So we leveraged Restaurants Canada's audience. We collaborated with an expert, a taxation lawyer that knew the hospitality industry and, the ins and outs. And we added the value of what our service can do for operators in terms of efficiency and compliance. So I think we had about 800 registrants to that webinar, about 500 live. And then I think you're talking about a startup scale up. You really want to think about creating content that you can repurpose and recycle on different channels for various audiences. So what we did is we turned that webinar into a lead magnet for our lead generation efforts on LinkedIn. And that's proven, just a small example of a value add piece of content that really we stretched it as far as we can from a lead generation, revenue, growth perspective.
Yeah. And Jayme, how do you measure the success of the marketing strategies that just now you have mentioned? And what tips can you offer to other small business owners looking to maximize their marketing impact?
Those are really great questions. Unfortunately, it's not a one size fits all, but it's a matter of if you're going to do some paid media, you want to make sure you measure all aspects of that paid media. And it depends on the objectives. For us, with a startup scale up being in the B2B space, our main metric was leads. We really wanted to get leads that sales could close because that's real revenue. And let's be honest, that's the name of the game. Right? Yeah, revenue and profitability right. When you're a startup scale up, especially in this day and age, investment dollars only last so long. The well can dry, and investment firms and angel investors, the tide has turned. It's no longer an endless pool of capital investment. So you really have to show product market fit, and you have to show that you're driving true business outcomes and growth. So for us, that's lead gen. You want to make sure if you have a budget that you're always looking at, not just vanity metrics like impressions or clicks, but actually giving your audience something that's valuable that they can opt into, in the form of a lead magnet, because it really does show intent. And then you're able to provide that qualified list to your sales team to drive that conversion and turn them into a happy customer.
Yeah, that's very important. Providing value is very, very important for no matter what kind of campaign you're running. Jayme, your insights offer a wealth of knowledge for many small businesses and aiming to and especially for those who are aiming to achieve significant marketing results on a limited budget. Listeners, Jayme's journey through the realms of marketing on a startup or scale-up budget brings to the light an essential truth for all entrepreneurs. Creativity and strategy thinking are invaluable assets that far outweigh the size of your marketing budget. In today's discussion, we have learned that with the right approach, even limited resources can yield substantial results. This serves as an inspiration for small business owners everywhere to rethink conventional marketing wisdom, to experiment boldly, and to find unique ways to connect with their audiences. Remember, it's not about how much you can spend, but how effectively you can communicate your brand's value and vision. Now let's discuss the journey of working moms. Balancing a successful career with motherhood is a remarkable journey filled with unique challenges and rewards. As a working mom, Jamie, what have been some of your strategies for managing both professional and personal responsibilities?
Yeah, I love that you're even highlighting that because the working parents, I would say working parents, they are quite hardworking. And it's really about finding your way. Again, it's not a one size fits all. You have to know what works for you and develop your hacks. So for instance, one of my hacks is I am the most creative, have the most energy and strategic thinking in the mornings. So if I'm stretched and I'm feeling like overwhelmed, I have a lot of work, I tend to wake up at 5 a.m., have some quiet focus time in the morning before the kids wake up. Compartmentalize is also key. If I work from 5 to 7 and then my kids are getting up at 7, then I shut my phone and I put it away because I need to focus on them just as much as I need to focus on my job. So those are some of the ways in which I'm able to manage. And then just having an employer who really understands the needs of working parents. AnyDay is owned by XTM, and that's the parent company. And XTM offers amazing benefits like flexible hours. We do remote work, half-time we're in the office, hybrid. So some of these benefits, you lean into as a working mom, and you do appreciate it. So it does help.
Right. And how has your experiences as a working mom influenced your approach to leadership and team management?
Yeah, that's such a good question. And in fact, becoming a parent has changed my managerial approach. So I think in this day and age, it's really, especially with the hybrid work, it's really important to lean into managing by mentorship. I spend a lot of one-on-one time with my team, making sure that they feel supported. Marketing can be an abyss of tests, an abyss of constant learning. So it's really about mentoring and coaching and making them feel supported, having the confidence to do those tests, but to ensure that there's focus to ladder into the business objectives of driving growth. So I think, my team would say they feel quite supported in that. And so with that support and confidence, they're able to go and do what they need to do.
Right. And what is your key piece of advice to other moms or mompreneurs, who are managing, on how to manage personal and professional life?
So to working moms, I would say my advice is done is better than perfect, especially when you're juggling multiple priorities, kids and work. You want to make sure that you're getting it done. It doesn't have to be perfect. You have to, acknowledge that, sometimes you'll feel guilty for not being the super mom, guilty for not being the super businesswoman. So what you need to do is understand those challenges, and everyone has those challenges. You can do this. It's about your positive self-talk. Done is better than perfect.
Thank you, Jamie, for sharing your advice with our audience. Your experiences and insights are invaluable for many working moms, I believe, and who are navigating similar paths. And now let's discuss about the compliance in marketing content strategy. Compliance with employment and tax laws is crucial for any business, especially in the hospitality sector. Can you share how leaning into compliance in your marketing content strategy helps secure hundreds of new clients?
Yes. So as we kind of touched on, compliance is a huge component of operating any business. It really is industry agnostic. So what's really helped us is partnering with like-minded experts, taxation lawyers, employment lawyers, but also from a marketing perspective, creating pieces of content that meet the audience where they're at and in the format in which they're at. So I gave an example of the webinar that we did with the taxation lawyer. So we actually had some requests to turn that into a white paper. So we turned that piece into a expert white paper. And then some people preferred it in an email format. So it's about creating the right formats for the right channels and the way that the audience wants to digest it. So not only are you able to leverage and recycle content and create new formats of it, we've turned that into a LinkedIn carousel, which is just snackable, right? Just instant, here is how we could pare it down in 5 little boxes on LinkedIn. So it's really about creating a valuable piece of content, leaning into compliance, and then translating that into different formats for different channels and audiences.
I really like the idea, and your thoughts, providing the content in the way the audience they want it, because one size doesn't fits all.
Exactly. And then you're reaching various target audiences where they're at.
Right.
We know that, a lot of decision makers discover brands or discover solutions on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But they're not going to digest, a huge 1,500 word blog post. Right. So to your point, it's super valuable to continue to repurpose and shift different content around to meet the needs of the audience.
Right. Jayme, what advice do you have for small businesses in ensuring their marketing strategies are compliant yet effective?
Yeah. So businesses should really lean into marketing expert content. There's Marketing Dive, there's various resources that business leaders should look to ensure that their marketing is compliant. As an example, Castle Law, is about compliance when it comes to email marketing. So it's really important that they understand, all the rules around ensuring that they're compliant with email marketing as well as other channels, social media channels, privacy on their website and cookies. So it's really important to lean into those marketing industry expert newsletters. And certainly, consultants that can help. There's fractional CMOs that can really collaborate on those types of strategies and have the know-how of what is compliant and how to maintain marketing compliance.
Your focus on compliance as a cornerstone of market strategy is both innovative and very essential for small businesses. Thank you for highlighting its importance. Now, staying ahead in the fintech space requires continuous innovation and adaptation. Could you tell us more about AnyDay's recent rebranding, the launch of Earned Wage Access, and what these developments mean for the future of XTM Inc.?
Yeah, it's really exciting times at XTM. Late last year, we acquired an issuer processor called QRails, based in the US. QRails was the original owner-creator of the brand AnyDay Earned Wage Access. So by acquiring an issuer processor, we became the first vertically integrated SAP certified earned wage access provider. And this gives us not only control over the entire technology stack, but it allows us to deploy interesting, innovative fintech features very, very quickly, as well as provide cost efficiencies that can be passed on to the employer and the employee. And so it's really exciting. And that's why there was this need to rebrand our Canadian version of Earned Wage Access. It was called Today. Well, Today is now AnyDay. Right. And by having, the rebrand, it comes with a fresh new look. And I think that's, on the pulse of fintech innovation. It's as much about the features and how it benefits the users as the, UI and UX and the look of it. So we have a very talented team of designers and engineers that work at XTM to create this new next phase of the AnyDay brand.
Right. And what are you most excited about for the future of XTM and AnyDay? And how do you plan to continue innovating in the payroll and fintech space?
So what we acquired, as I mentioned, was an issuer processor and a team that was really good at creating, B2B solutions. What we have at XTM in Canada is an amazing team that really drives B2C solutions. And so what's really exciting about what we're doing in the future is creating features that really speak to that end user, the employee, what employees want. They want financial wellness tools, budgeting. They want to leverage AI for saving, to track their, to monitor transactions. They want optimal security. So benefit of AnyDay is not just earned wage access, but it's also this really cool neobank app that has a ton of features and more to come that all ladder up to financial wellness for employees. We're driving fintech solutions to make sure employers are, leveling up their retention recruitment efforts, as well as creating operational efficiencies. So we already have that financial wellness for operators to make sure that they're reaching, optimal profitability. And now we're creating this amazing neobank with features to help with the employee financial wellness piece.
I'm the user of Neobank.
Yes. Yes. Oh, really?
It's a very cool app.
We do love our neobank. We're users as well, and they have amazing features. And
Right.
so it's about, Canadian fintech is thriving, definitely. So we love being a part of the space with Neo.
Jayme, your achievements with XTM Inc. and the exciting future ahead are a testament to your leadership and vision. We look forward to seeing where these innovations will lead. For our listeners who are navigating the complexities of starting or scaling their business, particularly in the fintech and marketing sectors, what advice would you offer to them?
I think with any fintech, the advice is fail fast. You want to make sure you're testing constantly, you're deploying features, you're testing the market, you're seeing what the product market fit is. And then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You pull back. You don't pour, resources in something that's not working. So that's what we do at XTM through AnyDay. We're able to deploy features, really assess them, test them, provide, market research, and ask the users, is this feature helping your life? Is this adding to your life and helping you? And then, pulling back when it doesn't. And we have many success stories, but just as many, learnings on how we optimize our app to make sure it's the best it can be for the user.
Okay. Before we wrap up, is there anything that you would like to share with our audience?
I give Canadian entrepreneurs so much credit. Keep going. The future of Canadian entrepreneurship rests on your hands. And so we need to keep going. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I've launched small businesses before, and it's not easy. So I know firsthand what it takes. And I think everyone, can be, critical. But really, Canadian entrepreneurs are the driving force behind our economy. And so much credit to our amazing Canadian entrepreneurs.
Thank you, Jayme, for bringing your invaluable insights and perspectives to our podcast today. Your contribution is greatly appreciated.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you, Jayme, for joining us and sharing your invaluable insights into payroll transformation, marketing strategies, and the life of a working mom. Today's key takeaway is the power of innovation in meeting the evolving needs of both employees and businesses. A special thank to our partners, exclusive banking partner RBC, exclusive shipping partner UPS, and exclusive accounting software partner Xero, and our exclusive email partner Constant Contact for their unwavering support. We encourage our listeners to subscribe to Canadian SME Small Business Magazine by visiting our official website canadiansme.ca for more empowering content.